everyone and welcome along. Now you may or may not have seen on social media that I have a brand new book coming out this autumn, but some of you have asked what is the difference between this and my other watercolour books, and I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to show you a little bit inside, maybe a bit too much inside, don't tell my publisher, just so you can understand exactly why this book would be the perfect addition to your collection. So let's dive inside. Before I show you inside my new book, I think the best thing to do is look at it in the context of how it differs from my 3 previous books. So we'll do a very quick rundown. So, and I've got my various foreign language versions because I thought that'd be quite cool. New Botanical Painting, here as Aquarela Botanica in Spanish, was my first book and is a brilliant book for beginners who want to learn to paint flowers, because it is all flowers and plants. And if we just have a little look at the peony here, you can see it's my controlled loose style, my familiar teaching style as well. But what is very cool is in every instance you get a miniature version as well. And you know we love miniatures over here. So you get foliage as well, and then towards the back you get little arrangements and wreaths. So this is a really fantastic book for anyone who specifically wants to learn flower painting, and we have it in all sorts of different languages. It's available around the world, but signed copies are available in my Etsy and on my Winton Paperco store. I will say signed copies just in English language. Next we have Birds, Bees and Blossoms, but also here is the French version. And this was when I branched out into painting animals, insects and birds as well. And this is still really nicely taught in a slow step-by-step way, but you can see there's plenty of detail. So for those of you who really want to master those lovely illustrations of birds, bees and blossoms, you can do so with this book. The way it's broken up into chapters is different climates around the world. So we have all sorts of different animals. And then at the back, just like with the previous book, we start to turn things into compositions, into patterns, into stylized movements like the arts and crafts movement or chinoiserie, and just to give you some fun suggestions on how to transform what you've learnt in the beginning of the book into really gorgeous patterns. I was very much going through a pattern and colour phase when this book came out. And then my third watercolour book, called A Year of Watercolour, but here is the German language version. This is a wonderful diary of the year, following the seasons with gorgeous seasonal tutorials. Very much a culmination of the previous 2 books in terms of style, but brand new tutorials. All sorts of lovely things, along with a few little anecdotes of me and Crumble on our walks, and a few recipes. This was elderflower, which we've recently looked at on YouTube as well, because I do love every now and then to give you a little sneak peek into the books and do a filmed version on YouTube. So that gives you a rundown of the kind of thing in my books up until now. So here is my brand new book. You will be able to paint with watercolour by the end of this book. What is different about this is we go right back to basics. And when I say back to basics, what I mean is I'm going to encourage everybody, whether you're a complete beginner or someone who is a more seasoned painter, to think about the very origins, or the very sort of origins and beginnings of watercolour and painting and art in itself. And that really, it always goes back to the primary colours. The first section of this book, nearly the first half, is entirely done using 3 paints, 3 brushes. And the reason I've done that is because we can all get so caught up with overwhelm of too many colours, too much choice, too many art materials, and it stops us in our tracks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a very quick sneak peek into some of the projects that we've got in this book. But starting through, we start with the basics and we build ourselves up very slowly by just showing you how to paint. We've done our circles. Many of you are familiar with these circles, but what we haven't done is look at mark making, wiggly lines, all of these kinds of things that slowly, eventually send you into glazes and layers. So that at the beginning is just going to give you a really fun opportunity to have pages and pages of scribbles and doodles just to get yourself in the zone. And then I'm not going to show you everything, but I'm going to show you just how you take those three colours and then you can mix with them. You can create all sorts of shades and tones, because of course I'm not just going to drop you in the deep end and say, here, paint this thing with three colours. I'm going to show you exactly how you go from three colours to many, many more. And then we look at things like how to paint quite detailed things, going from flat shapes to round shapes, how you capture that and how you can then turn that into a really gorgeous study. We also do, my little side tab here, we sort of go through lots of lovely projects, all with the three tones. And then when I feel like we're all ready to go, we're going to introduce plenty more colours, all the colours that I have in my palette and love to use, and start to really spread our wings. We add more brushes, we add styles. How about a lovely section on gorgeous vibrant fruit? We learn how to do colour blending, slightly looser styles. And then also about the drawing that comes before the painting, because I know a lot of you are anxious about drawing, so we break a lot of that down. We also look at how you can sort of find your style, choose how you want to paint, lots of different suggestions of different styles, and then projects throughout to give you inspiration and confidence in how to paint. And then we do some things, some of the more technical things like shadow and shade, the different colours that you could use to create shadows, because it's not just all about Payne's grey. We do underpainting, how colours layered up over the top of each other will really influence those mixes, so layering and glazing. Then we do things like timed paintings. I know it's something that a lot of my patrons get very worried about when I start saying we're doing a time painting, but it's such a useful skill. So you'll see how I go from here to here just through using time paintings to discover little things about myself and my painting style, and also just, you know, getting to know your colours and your paints as well. And then we've got some lovely sort of conventional tutorials, just like this lovely bird, but here we've got it detailed and here we've got it loose. So we've got lots more kind of studying in a bit more playful, really thinking about how you want to paint in watercolour. We've got lovely little landscape scenes, looking at using masking fluid and what white space means, all of that kind of thing. And don't forget, you can pre-order your copy. It's coming out on the 25th of September in the UK, and I think it's like a few weeks after around the rest of the world in America. But by pre-ordering a copy, you are helping us and the channel and the book sales so much, because you are showing your interest in a book, and that just gives the booksellers confidence. So pre-order in the link below and you will be you will have a copy of this wonderful book in your hands in only a matter of months. So yeah, we've got lovely little bits of still life, kind of classic De Winton Paper Co style things. Then some simple landscapes, because I know landscapes are something that a lot of us want to paint but feel a little bit intimidated by. We've got gorgeous flowers in here. I'm just, you know, I'm showing you the new stuff. So we've got how to paint and draw from perspective lines, whether it's landscapes or buildings. Here we have a lovely little country cottage. And I think, quite honestly, that is plenty that you're seeing in here, but my goodness, there is so much more. So you will be able to paint with watercolour by the end of this book, whether you could paint a little bit with watercolour beforehand. What it means is you are going to be so much more confident, knowledgeable, excited to paint, full of bursting with ideas, and inspired to paint with watercolour by the end of this book. So pre-order your copy in the link below, and you will be the proud owner of my 4th watercolour book. We do also have my lovely little reverse colouring book in there as well. But if you've enjoyed looking at the previous books as well and you think, actually, I need to complete my collection here, you can head to my Etsy and to Winton Paper Co shop and you can get signed copies right there. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you again for your support. Without you, the opportunity to create books like this would not be available to me. So I just want to say a huge heartfelt thank you from me and Crumble, because we're all part of the team, and I will see you again next time. Bye! So you will be able to paint with watercolour. It's available for pre-order right now. Pre-orders make such a difference to the success of a book, so I really need your help to get this pre-ordered, and of course then you will be rewarded with a beautiful copy of this book. So you can find in the link below a link to all sorts of different booksellers, international ones, UK ones. This book is available all around the world, so don't delay. Pre-order now, and thank you very much. You won't regret it.